Hello, good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to another edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime. We are sorry for the late start, but we hope that the time that is available is going to be enough for us to discuss what we had in store for you, our televiewers, this evening. Essentially, we are going to be discussing about the massive movement of persons out of the northwest and southwest region following the announcement of a lockdown in these two regions by pro-independence fighters. We look at the consequences of this movement on the people who are moving, and on the host communities. We equally are going to be looking at the possible consequences on the communities that are deserted as we speak, because the travel agencies in most of these regions were overwhelmed over the weekend by people who were fleeing from the northwest and southwest region. We equally are going to be looking at the situation of musicians that are working in Cameroon, Cameroonian musicians, at the time they leave this earth or towards the sunset of their careers. They are found very, very wanting, to the extent that they die in very, very sorry situations. We have memories of the way Lizati died in Cameroon. We have the memories of how people like Axel Muna died. We have the situation of still living Gaël Root and Matt Zambo, also knowing that somebody like Petit Pays, Thibaut d'Afrique, is also not well. We discuss the situation. Is there really a government policy vis-a-vis existing musicians in Cameroon? We are going to question the efforts that have been made by the Ministry of Culture to enhance the well-being of musicians. Why not even question the living conditions and the organization and collaboration amongst, the collaboration that exists amongst the artists themselves? Do they really take time to prepare for their retirement? We are discussing this with our panelists who are already in the house, 3 of them. One is still on his way. We hope that he's going to be joining us in the course of the program. Baku Jude is a journalist. He is in the house with us to discuss these 2 topics. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Leonard, for having me. I extend regards to beautiful viewers and hope that we'll have a short time together.
Tamfu Jones is also with us. He is the Secretary General of an existing political party in Cameroon. They call it Modekna. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you very much, Kume. It's always a pleasure to come here and share our views towards the nation building. And I say hello to all the televiewers and hope we give them all what they need. Thank you.
Billy Bob Ndive Lifungu is joining us for the second time. Somebody who is an expert on issues of arts. That is why he's joining us to discuss with us this evening. Good evening, Mula, and welcome.
Good evening, Mula Leonard. The pleasure is mine being here again today.
How is the film industry?
The film industry is sick, like the whole country. The entertainment industry is a very sick one due to lack of adequate policies, like it's done elsewhere, in Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire. Here, it's almost a non-existent industry that people struggle every day and night to.
It's laissez-faire.
Yeah, it's laissez-faire. The government has not enacted good laws to see. It's a lucrative sector that it's entertainment that makes people to even know America more than politics. So Nigeria is where it is today in the globe because of Nollywood, not because they have a petroleum products here and there. So I think it's high time we fix this issue.
We hope that the decision makers are going to follow us this evening so that they can get 1 or 2 tips from us to fix the entertainment industry, because the music, film, everything falls under the entertainment industry.
It falls under entertainment, photography and everything, designers, painters, and it's entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with you, Tamfu Jones. Massive movement of persons from out of the northwest and southwest region? Psychologically, how prepared are those you have talked with who are living in this region? Are they psychologically balanced to be engaging in this journey?
Absolutely, they are not psychologically balanced because it came to them as a surprise. Nobody was waiting for a lockdown. Out of a sudden, the president of the Ambazonian Republic was sentenced to life imprisonment and co. And the people received it like a shock, and the Ambazonian fighters came up with a lockdown issue, and it came to the population like a surprise. They were not ready for it. It is rather unfortunate that they were not given enough time to prepare themselves, either to move out of the northwest and the southwest, to maybe to seek refuge into another region, not waiting for the thing to come to an end, or to, let me say, gather food, enough food that would sustain them within the period. It's so unfortunate. But that notwithstanding, everything must not happen at their own will, because it has already happened. We cannot really say that it should be rewritten. It is the done has been done. So those that have the means, and people this way, some are even coming. They don't have anybody to live with this way. You know, I work with an organization, an NGO, that is in charge of these guys, and they have been calling since today. We have been working. It is not easy, because some of them are coming like that. They don't have anywhere to go. When you go to Bonaberry, some are sleeping in open air. You go to places like Kutaba, they are sleeping in open air. It's not really a good experience. But what can we do? We always try to see how we can help them. That's why we're calling on the attention of our viewers who have the means to help. That if you have the means to help, maybe to take even one person in your house, it will really be of great help, because these people are really suffering. It's not easy, because you cannot understand the pressure they are going through, except you talk one-on-one with them, or you happen to meet some of them face-to-face and discuss with them. You will get to know what they are going through. It's not easy. You see children are being displaced. School is about to resume, but instead of them expecting to go back to school in their various schools, they're now running this way to seek refuge. So it's not really an easy thing.
Okay, they were not psychologically prepared. You have the same feeling, Mbakujud?
Yes.
They were taken aback.
You know, involuntary movement, migration, that is involuntary. It's already clear indication to the fact that there is a problem. And before now, we already know that there were more than 150,000 internally displaced persons. Then we have even about 75,000 who are refugees in Nigeria. And you can understand that with the current announcement of the lockdown, within just last week, we got reports of more than 3,000 people moving from one bus stop to another, seeking refuge into the French Cameroonian part of the country. So I think just moving involuntarily is a problem. You know, these are people who had settled all their lives on their own soil. They have been comfortable building their families, buying farmlands and cultivating and living a life on home soil. And then one morning, you realize that your things are gone. Somebody even commented on social media that there is a house in Bamenda, a very big parlor, 4 bedrooms, and toilets, kitchens, and they're going to give that house for 10,000 francs per month. And you can really understand the pressure that's on such a person who just wants a housekeeper, then so that he can escape from the turbulent situation. So I think people moving out of the Anglophone Cameroon should be a very pertinent issue on the table of the government. And these are moments we had expected that a sane governmental structure will call for an urgent sitting. Maybe you call for an extraordinary sitting at the level of the government machinery, or we could also do that at the level of the legislature.
We are going to look at what the government is supposed to do. I just want us to look at the state, state of mind of those who are living these two regions. You are asked to leave, or you are not asked to leave, but because of something that has been announced, you are forced to leave. We even got information that transportation from Womb to Bamenda became 20,000. To leave Bamenda to Bafoussam, it got to 5,000.
5 to 7,000. It was 7,000 yesterday.
And Douala,
Because of the prevailing situation, most of them are being exploited.
Yeah, Leonard, it's a very deplorable situation. I was in Buea. I just came back, and if you look at what is happening, it's just starting. You know, with the conflicting dates of the lockdown, it's but it's just starting. Hopefully, before the 31st or 1st, we are going to see more of this, because you know, the one faction of the Ambazonian leaders declared from today, and the other faction declared from the 2nd. So it's a very bad situation that Anglophones are going through these days, because, like you rightly say, it took proof, it was a surprise, because they were not ready for the lockdown. They knew that it's going to be very difficult. September is going to be very difficult, because the leaders were calling for school boycott and stuff like that. But when Sisiko and Co were given that life sentence, it became very obvious that things were not going to be the same again, and it happened that they declared the lockdown. I think if you look at it from where the dates that they have given is almost 3 weeks of lockdown, and you don't expect people to leave. So some people are running away from the trauma, because it's so traumatic living in Buea, Limbe, Kumba, Bamenda during lockdowns. Those of us who shuttle between these towns, we used to be in Buea just for a day, or Kumba for ghost town when they say it's Monday. It's horrible living in Buea on a Monday. And then if it happens that you don't even have light, like electricity in your house, it is more painful that you cannot even watch TV. There is no water. You just sit in your house, and just for 1 day. Don't talk of 2, 3, then 10 days. You know, with the last 10 days lockdown, that experience of a 10 days lockdown that came from about 3 or 4 months ago, it was very, very traumatic for people. So that's why some people are leaving town to seek refuge and to go away from all the hula baloo of this lockdown issue, where you will not be able to go to the market to buy, you cannot visit even a neighbor, you cannot go to have a drink in a beer parlor. All these people are running away from the stress and the trauma that comes with it. That's why there's this mass exodus. And then it happens that, for instance, some people were thinking that, okay, schools might even reopen. But with what happened again, those who were even trying to say, okay, let's see how September is going to look like, they decided to say, okay, it's ended all. Let me just rush to Yaoundé, to Bafoussam, to Douala, to see how I can get schools for my kids. That's what is happening now. Because because if you look at the school chart, the survey that an NGO carried states that just about 20% of schools in English Cameroon are functioning. Because if schools in, for example, Sopo and Muliko are functioning in Buea, what about Mai 16? What about Mamu? What about Bonjongo? What about Wututu? What about all of those places? If there are 100 schools in Buea subdivision, I'm sure just about maybe 20% are found in the urban area. The rest are found in rural areas. No nursery schools, no primary schools, it's horrible. So that's what people are struggling to. Otherwise, our next generation of Anglophones are going to be, I don't know the title we can give to them, because they are going to be more than illiterate.
Okay, they are going to be more than illiterate. Something we are not praying for, because anyway, those who have the means have ferried their children over this way, and they are going to school. Is it easy to sustain yourself in a new environment? How do they survive here?
It is never easy, because, as I said earlier, when you go to the park in Bonaberi, you see some of them loitering there. I can remember one guy around right there have just constructed something with the papers, and he is living there like a mad person. It's not really an easy situation, though. Of course, I met one today who told me that he have rented an apartment of 60,000 francs. Some internally displaced VIPs who will even come here and live more than those who are already living here in town.
Of course.
And it will not be easy, but in the beginning, but with time, those who are great hustlers, I think that they will be able to adapt themselves very fast to society. You remember when the Bamileke people were suffering from the Maquisards, most of them ran away from the Bamileke land, and you realize that they find themselves today in Yaoundé and in Douala, in the major cities. And you see the exploit, you see what they are doing there. They are doing better than the autochthones of the town. So we pray that this should not be the case, because we would like our Anglophone community to remain the way it is, and not that we should come and be a people in another man's land. So it's not really easy for them to be down here, but that notwithstanding, we know that it's something temporary, because the lockdown is not forever. After the lockdown, I believe many will go back to their various homes to continue with life from there.
Now, this is adding to the existing IDPs that we have nationwide. I want us to look at the dispositions taken by government to cater for IDPs across the nation. Can you say that you are satisfied with the way the government is handling this issue, those who are moving?
I really don't think I've been able to pick out a situation where government has intervened in these whole cities to really look at critically how these people live. You know, government just have that attitude that, okay, if they are not comfortable in Anglophone Cameroon, they could move to other places, and according to them, they feel that the other places are cool. The other places are not good. Jones is talking, this Douala is a very tough place to live in, especially when you don't earn. It's a very difficult land to live when you don't have money, when you don't have a home and all that. It's not about the hustle. Yeah, people who are settled here, they can hustle, but you is coming in. You know, I remember it's about 2 months ago that a reporter did a story at that Kwasa at Bonaberry, and you know, people went outrageously on social media to criticize him. Well, maybe he had an intention different from doing that report, but there was an aspect of truism in what that report carried, because I live somewhere around that area. I have seen the influx of Anglophones into Douala. I have also seen the rise of Anglophone within the rise of Anglophone community within Bonaberry area. They're just Bonaberry, where I've mastered a bit. You can really see that every other day you see new faces that you know, even up in our own place. All of us are here. Somebody like me, I'm an IDP as well. I'm not here because I was supposed to be here. It's because of the crisis too that has relocated most of us. Some of our mayors are here too as well. Some of our parliamentarians are here.
Even the funds.
The funds are here. They cannot go home. So you see, the whole thing is dramatic, and government policies have been so docile. It's a very common phenomenon with government. They just are relaxed, and according to them, they are doing everything within the communities back in the Anglophone regions to ensure, according to them, they think that they are still doing everything to ensure that there should be normalcy. They are living in an oblivious state, which I really think that we need divine intervention to awaken the spirit of the government officials, because what they think people are, the life they think that people are living in these host cities, the people are going through hell. I passed through, not to say that things like this didn't used to exist, but we are beginning to see and get some new attachments, because when you go closer, you get the language that the people speak, you get the feelings, and you understand that some of these people are actually coming from the northwest and southwest region, who now have the bridges along the street here in Douala, around the wrong point in Daido there, as their abort. So the situation is really getting out of hand, and government supposed to, like I said earlier, this is a point where in your governance structure, you come in with an aggressive approach to arrest the situation. You could call an urgent, if I were President Biya or Prime Minister John Gutte, I'll call an urgent cabinet meeting that will involve all strata of all ministerial departments, because all social welfare is involved, security is involved. As these people are coming here, the crime wave against them or for the perpetrated by them will increase. Employment issues of employment. So it entails every other strata of life, which government structure should be awake to see it. If I were Kavaye Jibril or Nyat Njefenje, who have deliberately refused that this issue should not be discussed in Parliament or in Senate, I would have called for an extraordinary Senate or National Assembly meeting sitting so that we look at these issues. They may think that they are doing a disservice to the people of the Anglophone region. They are empowering us. When I say us, I mean us who are speaking this language and who come from that region and from that part of the country. We cannot be in a situation in a country where we are going through perilous pains that are already inflicted on us, and we see people folding their arms every day. Our people are dying. Yesterday in Dop, I saw another baby, like the baby Mata that was shot and killed in Moyoka. I saw another baby shot. A baby shot. And so...
Are you answering my question, or you are talking about that?
I'm giving you the reasons why government should be aggressive in arresting these situations.
Now, since I want us to look at the government's reaction or disposition to arrest or cater for those who are moving, because thousands of persons have moved from the northwest and southwest region. Do you think that the respective municipalities across the nation, take the municipalities in Bafoussam, in Douala, in Idea, Kongsamba, were supposed to come up with commissions to cater for those who are arriving so that special dispositions are taken to assist, even in the modest of ways, these IDPs? Because seemingly there is nothing in that direction.
Yeah, Mr. Leo, you know, your question is very pertinent because normally when things like this happen, the communities, for example, I will take Mungo, I will take Vuri, and I will take Mifi. Those are neighboring divisions around the Anglophone area. Because when you look at the Mifi or you look at the Bambutus,
yes,
those divisions are very close to Bamenda, and Santan, the rest. Or you look at Southwest councils.
Places like Suza,
yes,
Mbanga,
that's why I put Mongo and Vuri here, because those are neighboring, even Menua, because people who live in Libya Alem to Chang, it's just a stone throw.
Yeah.
So, but you know, we live in a community, in a society where even our councils are not autonomous, as they say. Because, for example, for a council to
do they not think?
No, they might be thinking, but you know, the functional system of our councils. For a mayor to take maybe such a decision, he needs the approval maybe of the SDO.
Yes.
At times, I don't know how it operates.
Yeah, but it must not only be under the mayor. If the mayor takes an initiative and then mobilizes the sons and daughters of Menuat, let's take the case of Chang, says all the political, administrative, traditional authorities of the place, can we come together to see how...
It gets back, Leo, to your question. If we had mayors who are powerful and autonomous, that they don't answer every now and then to the administrative, to government officials. You understand? They are called local government. If, for example, the mayor of Suza has his brother, he gets up one morning and he calls his deputy mayors and say, this is what we are going to do. He doesn't have the right to go maybe see the SDO in Kongsamba for approval because they want to spend some money, because it entails money. You have to spend money. For example, if you want to buy mattresses, you have to take it. All of this is happening in a situation where our councils don't have that autonomy, that autonomy to take such decisions at times. They might be thinking towards that. And for example, a council, a mayor can, you know, it's an individual aspect. You have somebody who has human feelings, and we see, like Mr. Mbako was saying, what is happening at Kosa Kosa there is an area that I understand. It's very, very painful. You see what is going through there with girls of 15, 14 coming from Northwest and Southwest that they don't have nowhere to go. What is left for them is to get into the oldest profession of the earth, which is prostitution, and they go there.
I think those are the girls who were prostitutes before coming down here.
No, at times it's hardship. These things, at times hardship will lead you to do some.
Yeah, but
things.
But it is true. You say the hands of the mayors are tied because their supervisory authority is the senior divisional officer. But let's also understand that each constituency has MPs. They have senators. What stops these senators and MPs to engage in actions?
When you talk about senators and MPs, yeah, it falls almost the same. Like when you have senators and MPs who cannot deliberate on these issues where they are supposed to be deliberated. In a country where there's a crisis going on and the crisis has been banned from the hemicycle in Guayaquil and in the Senate, that people who have been got up and spoke about it, did that with like by force. They used force to even what Wilbur did.
And today he's on the run.
He's on the run. So it's difficult. It's difficult because some of them have their, they have their party policies. They mostly, all of these houses most of the mayors are run by, the councils are run by CPDM mayors. The senators, 80-90% of them from CPDM. So they have their policies. Some of them, when you talk one-on-one with them, they tell you different issues. They feel differently from when they are talking in public. Some of them are crying that what is happening is not good. So I think the mayors could do better. Like you say, thinking is different with Cameroon. You think differently, but you act differently. Because for a mayor to remove, let's say, 200 million from his coffers to cater for IDPs, if care is not taken, if he disburses that kind of money without the approval from the SDO, he will be held for misappropriation of funds, and tomorrow TCS will be answering questions from TCS. So I think your question is very pertinent, but when we look at what is happening, I'm sure.
How about the political traditional other elite? Yes.
The political and traditional elite. When we talk about political elite, you've just coined the word political elite. Most of them, the powerful ones, are CPDM political elites. That even to do some certain gestures, they will have to tell you that they have to refer. It is, since TCS came in, politicians these days don't spend money again like they used to do. They don't spend money again when you see somebody throwing money like before, because they are afraid. We discussed with them, so it's a little bit complicated.
Okay, they told you that they are afraid to spend money.
They are afraid to spend money.
Okay. My name is Roderick Tencha from the U.S. My best school is the H Bilingual Nursery and Primary School, Bonaberry. It's extraordinary in everything due to the crisis in Bamenda. I had to move my 2 kids to Douala. I finally got them to enroll the boys at the H. My kids had nothing but only amazing things to say about the school. It's a new school, but the work the teachers put in can be seen in my kids' performance. Good evening to you all in the studio. Why are we fooling ourselves? Going out is not the case. The government should paying the citizens. What have we done to deceive or to receive all this? Why are they so harsh to use? Because we are tired of all this rubbish. Our children are not going to school. Why have they leave devil to eat Cameroon like this? Why? Because I always ask myself, if we have leaders who believe in God, people are dying and it means nothing to them. Oh God, please, our leaders should save innocent souls. I'm Tani Mbou, writing from Kumba. Bonsoir, je m'appelle Karine Emos. Ma meilleure école, c'est l'école bilingue maternelle et primaire du H, parce qu'elle a un cadre sécurisé, des bus scolaires confortables, des toilettes toujours propres, des cours audiovisuels, des classes climatisées, des salles d'informatique et une bibliothèque avec des enseignants qualifiés. Pour une éducation de qualité, je vous conseille l'école de H. The H, please. I really need to visit the school. Whoever has a school, I want to visit it. I should not be doing publicity for. Good evening. I'm called Andy from Moliko Boya. In life, one man's food is another man's poison. The government is feeding fat out of this war. I wonder why people are still calling it crisis, whereby we see all kinds of war machines. Okay. Je renouvelle mon vote pour l'école maternelle primaire et bilingue, the H. Et ne cesserai de faire car il est de donner le mérite aux méritants. Et dans ce périmètre, the H est la meilleure. The H again. Wow. No, I took this one already. Anduba Cletus says, good evening, panelists. Pandemonium erupted at Mile 17 Park yesterday as denizens were moving in haphazard manner. Mr. Liu, an ad hoc meeting needs to be called by the government to stop this frustration. Our people are really suffering. Most businesses, okay, most businesses are grounded and harassment is on the rise. Clitus Sanduba, we should be writing from Boya. Thank you for your message. Hello says, in the room, we are suffering here. No light. It's 1 month now since Friday. I have been trying to travel to Yaoundé, but to no avail because it's full. All the parks are full. Watching your program from Bamenda and Kwen. Manka, good evening. We feel your pain and we share in what you are going through. We pray that you finally get to Yaoundé. Good evening, brothers. I'm Muko Walters from Bamenda. I think let the Ministry of Tourism make good use of their budget and let the artists make good use of theirs and stop only buying dresses. My best school is GHS Njikwa. Good evening to George and my former principal, Mr. Bumu Martin. Okay, please stop calling. I cannot take your call. Just send your message. We read them out. Don't call, please. We cannot take any call. Il est bon de donner le mérite aux méritants. Okay, thank you. We are moving over to the newsroom to follow the news with Peregrine Blanche.
Being one of more than 200 majors of HIPMAT, I am proud of my success. It all began at HIPMAT.
I am a CEO. I coach and lead a team of salespeople. I don't hesitate to tell them the vision was planted and molded by HIPMAT.
Today, I stand on a pedestal of experienced and committed lecturers. The foundation was laid by HIPMAT.
For over a decade, HIPMAT's credibility and ministerial recognition have trained more than 15,000 professionals in business management and engineering from HND to BTech, MBA, and what have you. With an outstanding partnership with the University of Bamenda for BTech and MBA programs, our undoubted commitment to your show's success is a reflection of the future you painted. The Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology, HIPMAT, a university for professionals.
Seeking a career in agriculture? Consider St. Louis Higher Institute of Agriculture, where students can build their interest in various farming systems by tailoring their study of agriculture to production, processing, and marketing agribusinesses, making them job providers and not seekers. St. Louis Higher Institute of Agriculture offers relevant practical education developed and delivered by experts and teachers who believe in teaching by demonstration. St. Louis Complex also offers through its Higher Institute of Medical Studies professional HND in nursing, midwifery, physiotherapy, pharmacy technology, medical lab sciences, dental therapy, radiology, and ultrasonography. We are located at Bonaberin Double opposite Nestle. Contact us on 678-435-138 or 677-764-674.
De l'inédit au Cameroun, le tout premier collège canadien ouvre ses portes dès septembre 2019. Performance Education Center, en partenariat avec les grandes écoles canadiennes, offre aux élèves du second cycle un cadre prestigieux, calme et propice pour des études avec des enseignants chevronnés canadiens et camerounais. À Performance Education Center, obtenez le baccalauréat canadien, vous ouvrant automatiquement les portes des plus grandes universités canadiennes et du monde via les bourses d'études garanties. Performance Education Center propose également des programmes de formation bilingue de 2 ans, permettant d'obtenir un permis de travail au Canada après obtention d'une attestation d'études collégiales du Québec équivalent du BTS sous l'assistance de Performance Immigration Canada. Performance Education Center est situé à Locbessou, derrière Antenne CRTV, 10e avenue. Performance Education Center, visa vers le Canada et le monde.
From the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon say dozens of people have evacuated the region to other parts of the country following the announcement of a 3 weeks lockdown by separatist fighters. A ship with over 200 passengers from Nigeria heading to Tico has sunk. About 106 persons have been saved while the search for the others is still ongoing. Good evening and thanks for trusting my Media Prime for the news. My name is Genda Pelgin Blanche King. The news in full. A ship with over 200 passengers from Nigeria heading to Tico has sunk at sea. Reports say the ship christened Austin, a yacht belonging to Ashuka, went down over the weekend around Bakassi. Information reaching us says about 106 persons of the more than 200 passengers on board have been saved, while the search for the others is still ongoing. Reports from the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon say people are moving out of the region to other parts of the country following a 3 weeks lockdown announced by Anglophone fighters or Anglophone militias. Meanwhile, those in the troubled regions have stocked their homes with foodstuff for fear of the unknown. There have also been reports of heavy military presence in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. And on to something else, Anglophone bishops of the Bamenda Provincial Episcopal Conference have called for a peaceful return to school in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. In a 4-page document dated August 23, 2019, the bishops say children's future must not be sacrificed for selfish and political gains. Lasha Kingsley read through the document and now reports.
In a strongly worded 4-page document dated August 23, 2019, the Anglophone bishops of the Bamenda Provincial Episcopal Conference has called for a peaceful return to schools in the restive northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. The appeal was made during the 67th Ordinary Meeting, which held in Bamenda as from the 16th to the 23rd of August 2019. The 7-point agenda in the open letter is addressed to the Amba fighters, the government and the military, parents, teachers, and the Anglophone diaspora. The bishops stated their concerns about back to school in northwest and southwest regions, some of which include the fact that all the children in the northwest and the southwest regions deserve the right to education and to a good future wherever they decide to with their lives. The struggle for no return to school, according to the bishops, is a grave injustice against the poor of the society. To the government and the military, the bishops reminded them of their duty to protect citizens and their properties. To the diaspora, the bishops appealed to them to review their strategies in the struggle, which will not include children not going to school. They also call on Amba fighters to try as much as possible to approach the problem of schools more with reasons than with emotions. According to a recent report by the United Nations, 4,400 schools have been shut down because of a ban imposed by Anglophone militias groups, which has affected over 600,000 children.
Out of the country, over 1,500 Cameroonians have been protesting in front of Mexico's immigration office in the north town of Tapachuala, Chiapas. The protest, which began on Monday, August 19, 2019, continued today, and reports say Mexican officials are yet to address the plight of the protesters. The migrants are demanding access into the United States of America to seek asylum. Some of the striking Cameroonians in Mexico say the Mexican immigration officials are asking them to seek asylum in Mexico instead of crossing the borders to the United States of America. The international leaders at the G7 summit have agreed to provide logistic and financial support to help fight the fires at the Amazon rainforest. The funding pledge was announced recently as the leaders of the G7, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom and the United States have continued meeting at Biarritz, France. According to the country's space research agency, a record of fire has been burning in Brazil, mostly in the Amazon forest. President Emmanuel Macron of France said the funds will be made available immediately, primarily to pay for more firefighting planes, and France would also offer concrete support with military in the regions. With that, we end today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. But before we go, a quick reminder of our bullet points. Report from the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon say dozens of people have evacuated the region to other parts of the country following the announcement of a 3-week lockdown by separatist fighters. A ship with over 200 passengers from Nigeria heading to Tiko has sunk. About 106 people have been saved while the search for the others is still ongoing. The news was produced by Ewane Eli, coordinated by Elisha Kingsley. My name is Genda Peojin Blanche King. Thanks for trusting My Media Prime for the news. Join us tomorrow, God willing, same time for another edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Stay tuned. The second part of Prime Hour continues with Kum Leonard and his panelists. Good night.
Seeking a career in agriculture? Consider St. Louis Higher Institute of Agriculture, where students can build their interest in various farming systems by tailoring their study of agriculture to production, processing, and marketing agribusinesses, making them job providers and not seekers. St. Louis Higher Institute of Agriculture offers relevant practical education developed and delivered by experts and teachers who believe in teaching by demonstration. St. Louis Complex also offers through its Higher Institute of Medical Studies professional HND in nursing, midwifery, physiotherapy, pharmacy technology, medical lab sciences, dental therapy, radiology and ultrasonography. We are located at Bonaberin Double opposite Nestle. Contact us on 678-435-138 or 677-764-674.
Greetings everyone and thanks for joining us once again. On what is making news today in Cameroon, the mass exodus of Anglophones from the northwest and the southwest regions to other regions of Cameroon and the growing pressure on the Norwegian and Belgian governments to withdraw the nationalities of Cho Ayaba Lucas and Mark Barretta will surely constitute the biggest package on today's in the press on Prime Hour. We begin with the Star newspaper. The paper reports that thousands are fleeing northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon after 3 weeks lockdown announced by separatist leaders in a bid to frustrate back to school, a situation which the bishops of the Bamenda Provincial Episcopal Conference have described as unacceptable that kids' future be sacrificed for selfish and political gains. While the reporter questions why Norway harbors and protects murderous Cho Ayaba, similar headline shares by the media newspaper. The paper also reports that residents are fleeing Bamenda Kumbaboya as prolonged lockdown looms. On to Loswa newspaper. The paper writes that a student in the northwest region of Cameroon has challenged the Belgian Prime Minister over his support to the terrorist Mark Barretta, who has ordered for the rape of girls, organized the murder of teachers, and continue to call for school boycott in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. While Le Gideon writes that anticipated lockdown and bloody confrontations. panic-stricken population flee from the northwest and the southwest regions of the country. L'Indépendant and Sang De Tu point accusing fingers to the Norwegian and Belgian authorities for conspiring with Cho Ayaba Lucas and Mark Barita to stop children from going to school in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. And For Matin shares similar opinion as it accuses the Norwegian Prime Minister Erna Solberg harboring Ayaba Cho Lucas, despite the fact that the terrorist is on an international arrest warrant for war crimes and crimes against humanity in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. La Voix du Centre, on its part, says over 4,400 schools have been shut down in the northwest and the southwest regions of the country. And this closure, according to La Voix, has deprived over 600,000 children of education in the northwest and the southwest region of the country. We end with the Guardian Post. The Guardian Post, which equally took interest in the mass exodus of Anglophones from Bamenda, Buea, Kumba to other parts of Cameroon as 3 weeks lockdown announced by separatist leaders abroad. Norway pressured to withdraw Ayaba Cho Lucas' citizenship over alleged atrocities committed in the northwest and the southwest regions of the country. That does it for In the Press on Prime Hour.
Thank you, Lasha, for that succinct review of the press, and to you, Pedro Blanche, for the news presentation. We continue with our program out here in our studios at Fin Goudron Bangé in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. We continue with you, Tamfu Jones. Could this lockdown have been avoided by the government?
A very difficult question to answer. Yes, it could have been avoided by the government. That question would take me to talk of a wrong timing. Wrong timing, because why is the lockdown? The government gives a life sentence to the Ambazonian leaders.
Let me cue you on. Are you saying that without this life sentencing, there would not have been a lockdown, given that there was a campaign for no back to school?
There was a campaign for no back to school, but they didn't announce any lockdown for no back to school till when the sentence was pronounced. So we will assume that it is as a result of the sentence that we have the lockdown. So if maybe the government had allowed schools to maybe resume, maybe let's say back to school period passes before maybe the sentence, the leaders, if they wanted to, maybe it would have produced a different result and not this lockdown. So that's what I can say concerning that.
Now, was it possible for the pro-independence fighters to have approached this thing differently, so as to avert what people are decrying today as imposed sufferings on the people of the Northwest and Southwest region?
Yeah, it's possible. You know, when you take a decision that is for my benefit, you don't consult me, you go ahead and enact it, and it becomes counterproductive. I will hold you responsible. I mean, the lockdown was supposed to, of course, they had earlier opined that they were going to start on the 2nd, which was back to school, the day that the children were to go back to school. And so I think that if that was the plan, the guys in the diaspora who started, I'm talking about Chris Anu, who went down and created the whole cacophony of 3 weeks from nowhere without consulting. That's why you got conflicting opinions coming in from the fighters on ground who are saying that that decision is null. Because people just get up and take decisions without considering the pains that people are going through. So it would have been possible if the fighters and their leaders had considered the plight of the people also. We should not keep blaming government at every point. We know that these guys too have their own portion of the blame. And the earlier we start blaming them for taking some wrong decisions, we are only doing justice to the whole setup. So if they wanted to stop schools, I have said it times without number, it would have been that on that second, there could be saying that from morning to days to 12, nobody should be able to say, I already understand that, yes, you wanted to frustrate school. But just giving a blatant communique that says...
Differently, how would they have approached the whole affair? Sisiku Ayub Tabe has been sentenced. Schools are supposed to start, and they are against it. What should they have done?
Sisiku had already been sentenced. I think selling or doing things that will send people again out of that place, increasing the plight again of the people, is no guarantee that the school is coming out anytime soon. So what I expected the leaders of the pro-separatist leaders to have done, instead of calling a ghost town, that is not, the effects are not mutual. The effects that these people, our people from the northwestern region, northern and southwestern region are feeling, is not mutual with what the government is feeling in Yaoundé or the francophone regions are feeling, or what the people in the diaspora are feeling. So I thought that they would have strategized and come up with a powerful delegation or something. They used to do protest, mass protest in some strategic places. That could also be another way, another strategy, instead of worsening the situation by moving, because just taking the people again out of the region is another point which we must struggle to contain, even as an Anglophone society. So it's not helping the people by removing them again from that position. So I think they would have mitigated that.
Yes, I want to chip in something, because when we say we should not blame the government, I think if we are to attribute blames...
No, you spoke. No, please. No. You spoke and you blamed the government outrightly. He speaks and is saying that the other people should... They debate should be balanced.
I just want to chip in something, if you give me the opportunity. You know, when government has sentenced these people in this very strategic period, I think that they have intelligence, that they will have known that this will now spark again the crisis. When it sparks the crisis, what will we do? They should have a plan B. That if it happens like that, since these people have always been called for ghost towns and lockdowns, maybe they will call for another one. If they call for another one, what should be done? They should be able to protect the population too against the people whom they call terrorists.
Okay,
the government should be ready to protect the population against the people whom they call terrorists, because now when you see the population moving from the northwest and the southwest to other regions of the country, you realize that these people, that means they feel...
Are you really answering my question, or you just want to make a point?
Please come again.
I asked him a question. I thought you were going to add to what the question I asked. I asked whether the separatist pro-independence fighters might have approached this. Was there a possibility for them to approach this thing differently?
That I can't answer.
So you're taking the debate away from its focus. Now, there are people who are sick on ground who are going to find it very difficult to move. There are emergency cases that may arise. How do we survive in such a situation? Because we are looking at the consequences of what's happening.
Yeah, it's we are going to record a lot of setbacks, casualties, and when we talk of people who are sick. Really, when people are sick and it comes to this kind of, I will tell you something. I will just give you something. My neighbor just died. My closest neighbor in Buea died. And something happened, I took him to the hospital. I was in Buea that day. I took him to the hospital, and the hospital in Buea General Hospital, and the next day was a ghost town day. I think it was Sunday, it was Monday, ghost town, and at 4 a.m. again, and they were calling me again to take him out of Buea at that night, knowing that I have to pass through my 16, my 14, and...
So you got scared?
Yeah, no, I got scared like any... You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Kum. You know what I'm talking about for those of us who live in Buea. We know that I could easily go to Buea. That's why they woke me up at 3 a.m. and I took him to the hospital. But no, at 2 a.m. and 1 hour again, they're asking me to take him again to, I think, Bingo in Mutengene, That you know that stretch of that road is like a death trap. I know about 4 of my friends who have been kidnapped in that stretch. Even the chairman of CFI, or the Common Film Industry, was kidnapped that same stretch. And I told them it's almost a Herculean task for me to leave at this time going towards my 16, my 14, my 15, and to Mutengene. That we should wait for the day. She's already in the hospital. So I just said this because just to tell that, you know, on a normal base, I will just kick my car. On a normal day, if there's no crisis, I'll kick my car and drive to anywhere at any time.
What are you saying in effect?
I'm just
How do people survive?
That is the question. It's difficult. It's almost a Herculean task surviving in these areas when it comes to this kind of like a lockdown. You want to leave Kumba for an emergency in Buea. The first thing that comes to your mind is not even saving that person who is sick. You'll be thinking about your own security first. Am I going to succeed driving 1 hour 20 minutes drive from Kumba to Buea? So it's almost a Herculean task. It's very difficult to survive in this during this period of lockdown. You can't buy. Yesterday, people were in Muya Market, my village, till 8 p.m. in the night. You know why they were there till that time? Because they were trying to buy food to stock their places, buy drugs, buy this, so that if tomorrow it happens, nobody's going to go. So it's a very difficult riddle to reconcile. That how can people survive at this juncture? It's almost, people are going to die because even an ambulance driver, for example, this is what happened. That same night in the hospital, they called the ambulance driver from the Buea General Hospital to carry that guy who was sick, my neighbor, to transfer. The guy said, they called him on phone that day. He said for nothing he will not go. He said for nothing he won't go to the hospital to Mutengene that night, or they'll have to wait till daybreak. That he will not leave because he has been attacked twice on that stretch. So that was just a normal ghost town day. Not to that's a Monday, and not to talk of another day. They tell you of a lockdown, 10 days of lockdown. It is going to be difficult. People are going to suffer.
People are talking of 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks, because they have some breaks that day. People have to go and stock their food. It's going to be extremely difficult. It's something that when I say a Herculean task, I know what I'm talking about, because people will not go out.
Now, the situation, the examples you have been using are examples of Buea. Take the situation of a mother who needs an emergency operation, who needs to be taken to
Bamenda.
To Bamenda.
Let's say a pregnant woman.
Yeah, the lady who is
it's almost the same thing, Mr. Leo.
How do they survive?
It's going to be difficult.
So survival will really be difficult because it's a really difficult situation. When you look critically, we realize that when they say lockdown, everything is locked down. If you are sick, maybe death will only receive you with cold hands, and I think the decision will have been revisited by those who took that decision. They should have thought of those who will be down, because when we talk about people stocking food, it's not everybody that will have the means. Given that the economics of our country now is not it has not to write home about. Things are very difficult this time around, and it's back to school, pockets are empty. How many people will have the money to stock food? The IDPs who are leaving the place to other places are those who have little money that they can even pay transport. I bet you there are families that will not have the means to even pay the transport to leave, or anybody to whom they can go and live within this period. So those are the people that are caught in the web. So I think that those who took that decision for the lockdown, they can still revisit it. It will be beneficiary to the population they are protecting.
Yes, I just want to contribute by saying that, you see, this medical issue, you know, the other time we had the 10 days lockdown, I visited the Bamenda Regional Hospital and realized that the health issues of people actually rised, because within this period, even ambulance, you know, Medicine Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, they are scared, like Bob is talking, they are scared even to move about because they are attacked. You can't even understand that we're in a crisis where they attack military health personnel. So it becomes very challenging. We have people who were supposed to be on dialysis. You know, that dialysis thing, there are people who are supposed to be on dialysis every 2 days, some every 1 week. And, you know, their kidneys keep failing, they keep dying just because of such negligence. We have people who are supposed to be on their farms, you know, food. We used to provide food even to the neighboring Nigeria that have even locked their borders. We used to provide food to Equatorial Guinea from Santa, carrot, cabbages. All those things people have.
Only the psychological aspect of it, even you sitting in the hospital, you are a patient, you know that you can't go out, doctors cannot come to attend to you as they should. It's traumatizing. It can cause a patient to die before time.
Yes. So I think that living their communities, we have health issues to cater for. We have security issues to look at. We have livelihood issues. Today on social media, I saw somebody in Bafoussam who has offered a building, a very big building like this one, for the IDPs to come and stay. And I think those are the kind of goodwill gestures.
Like the community initiatives I raised earlier on.
Yes, the community initiative that people should take and see how they can begin to assist. And it's not just by assisting, it's good that they are assisting. While they assist, they could equally pressure their home communities. You know, if I'm a councillor in Douala 4, in Douala 1, 2, I should not just sit and fold my arms that some people are coming in. I should be able to pressure the local government of my area to ensure that they carry these issues right through to the quarters that will have ears to listen. We should be, if we say we are Cameroonians, we are one, we are indivisible and all that, we should be able to feel each other's pain. You should not just sit at your own little corner and feel that everything you see, life is going smooth with other people. So that's the appeal.
It's very shameful that instead of solving this crisis the right way, the government of Cameroon is creating more tension by remedying the ongoing situation. Look at the affected people whom, after the sentence of the Ambazonian leaders, were frightened and had to move out of the northwest and southwest. In effect, immediate inflation in the transport services in a struggle to flee the continuous killing of innocent natives. Sentencing those people is not a solution to this. If the government wants peace like they have been saying, then the problem should be handled as it's supposed to be done, rather than playing political games at the detriment of innocent people. Please, where is this TV station based? It is very interesting. Lorenzo is writing from Buea. Lorenzo, we are based in Douala. We have correspondents in Buea, in Kumba, in Limbe, in Bamenda, in Yaoundé. So you can get us anytime for whatever thing you need from us. Good evening to you all in the studio. I'm Elias from Ekona. My best school is Solid Foundation Nursery and Primary School, Bonaberi, Douala. Most of those fleeing northwest and southwest may be tempted to engage in an armed robbery, prostitution, etc., and hence unwanted pregnancies, diseases, etc. Thank you for that message. This one says, good evening to all the panelists. I love this program. It's Humphrey from Buea. Why would people not run for their lives when those who are to secure them have become the ones who are instead killing them? My brother, this government has spoiled this country, but I just want to say God is God. One day this will end and their families will be held responsible for every damage their great or grandfathers have done for our people. Wicked old people have decided to frustrate the younger generation. What goes around must come around. We are tired of all the killings. I don't think I have my best school. My heart is bleeding. Okay, sorry, our hearts are all bleeding. Good evening, panelists. The government enjoys what is happening. They are supposed to protect. Why are we leaving the real things and chasing shadows? Come to think of it, all the money resources the government has injected into the crisis could have been used, even a tenth of it, to inject into the economy several years ago, wherein the whole Cameroon would have benefited, and the Anglophones' problem wouldn't have surfaced in the first place. It's sad millions are being killed so that a few individuals can receive alerts from their banks. I am Lanesra, writing from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. Good evening, panelists and televiewers. When we spend time telling lies and comfortable with it, Nemesis holds that we will soon be wrapped up in our lies. Cameroon authorities should be careful. I am Eva Dawo, writing from Sandpit in Buea. Salut, je m'appelle Ursula. Ma meilleure école, c'est l'école bilingue maternelle et primaire de H, parce que les enseignants sont de qualité et les cours sont audiovisuels. Les enfants ont la possibilité d'apprendre d'autres langues en dehors de leur langue d'enseignement. Merci beaucoup pour le message, ok? Let me take one last message. My best school is GS Kai. Okay, GS Kai is in Momo Division. Je m'appelle Arnaud Joël Nseke. Je vote pour l'école maternelle primaire bilingue de H pour l'esprit d'équipe et le dynamisme des enseignants et leur disponibilité pour leurs apprenants. My name's Tupe Eric. I vote for the bilingual primary and nursery school, the H, for the teachers' team spirit and the efforts they put towards their children. The H, wow. Wow. Good evening, Mr. Leo and co. One is tempted that the government officials, especially the landlords, are happy for the movement because they'll come and fill their expensive houses. They know what they are reaping. What part of dialogue does the government not understand? Everyone sings dialogue, yet the government is busy following symptoms while the disease is deeper to the white blood cells of the economy. We are quenching fire with dry leaves. Senderic is writing, okay? Most of those who are coming over this way are being exploited because we have many girls from the Northwest and Southwest region serving as bartenders. They are doing all sorts of menial jobs for very, very low salaries out here.
Yeah, it's they have to survive. They have to survive because living in, like Mr. Amaku said, living in a town like Douala is more than difficult. It's very expensive living in Douala. But for those who are VIP, IDPs who could afford I know of some who live in exquisite apartments in Douala where they pay up to 50,000 francs a day. But how many of us can afford that? Most of us are IDPs. I am one. So most of us are IDPs. Most of us are IDPs who have, and it's very difficult for these young people. That's why some of them, somebody was killed here in Douala, and they discovered that he was an IDP. He just told some biscuits or what in a boutique here, I think 2 months ago. And one of my friends called and informed me of the issue, and I was so shattered because just imagine, I'm not sure that young man was really a thief, but you know, maybe he escaped from maybe Mbengui or from a Kondo Titi, and he's in Douala now. Surviving is almost something that is very difficult for him, and because he was hungry, he stole some biscuits or something to eat, while white collar thieves are enjoying with the crisis, because what we should know is that the crisis has made some people to get very rich. Both people from NGOs and stuff who take money from organizations in the name of enabling IDPs, and so it's difficult. It's difficult. And let me tell you something about the IDPs also, because so when some come to live like bartenders, so to work like bartenders, others as sellers in cafes, these small cafes here and there, they don't have where to sleep. They finish work, maybe they are working about, maybe their daily wage is 400 francs a day. He has to eat, he has to clothe when he is sick, which means what he's even working could not sustain him even when some small, because it's very obvious that they are going to be falling sick every now and then, because some of them sleep outside, no hospital, no roof over their head, no mosquito tents, and you know where we live, Douala, where death, and you know where there is death, it attracts mosquitoes, and when mosquitoes are around, malaria follows. Is the order of the day. So you find too many of them will die because they cannot even have normal drugs for 1.5 that for malaria treatment, and somebody will just die because of 1.5. While there are some people who go around in the name of how do we call it? Commissions and campaigns to give food and drugs to IDPs. And something shocking I saw in Boya, they came up with a list of IDPs, and I realized that people who are even living in Buea, their names are there.
Yeah, it's always the case.
Two people are living in Buea who are not IDPs. Their names are there, and they go and take bags of rice, tomato. They are not IDPs. No, I know some who are not even IDPs who collected it. They take mattresses and stuff like that. While the real IDPs are there, since nobody knows them, they are there. Their names were not found in the list because it's difficult. That is why there's a lot of work that's supposed to be done when it comes to this campaign to help these people. Because you will call a chief or who in the quarter say, give us names of those who think. And then since the man cannot do the job, since the man cannot do the job, because to do that job, for example, if you are, let's say you are staying in the street in Muya, for example, Muya is very big, and there are too many IDPs there. Muya is very big. It's a second-class chiefdom. It's very big that you have to go into the quarters to know who is who, and you don't do it. You just sit in your house and call your friend. You get some people for your house, and they give you names of those that they don't even know. Somebody is giving the name of the sister who is living in Bova, who is not an IDP. When the thing comes, they begin to share. Most of the items meant for IDPs, they have never reached the IDPs. Those who are thin IDPs. Most of them have not gotten. You look all what they show on TV. Is cinema. Most of those things that they show in TV, they go and gather some few people here.
Okay.
Because we are talking of before this lockdown, we're talking of 560,000 internally displaced people. Yeah. 560,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to reconcile what the government is saying, what some NGOs are saying, and what is on ground. It's very difficult.
Okay, let's move over to our second topic that has to do with Cameroon musicians. Is something wrong with them, or is it their lack of planning, or government has abandoned them? Why do they always end beggarly? When you look at the Cameroonian musician today, are you comfortable with the way things are going? What impression do you have of them?
I'm not really much into showbiz, but from my observation, I think that the government should do something. When I talk of the government, people will say that you're always pointing fingers at the government. Who should I point fingers at? Government are the people. Government is the one to promote our culture, to ensure that our culture is being valued. Because by the time we don't valorize our culture is going to die. Look at the famous Makossa music that used to be sold internationally, that used to carry the flag of Cameroon internationally. But today the thing has died down. Now, because when you look at what they call droit d'état, we realize that some musicians go there to sign 4,500, and we even had cases of people going there to sign 700 francs. Those type of things, we begin to ask ourselves that if somebody was to live of his artwork, would that money that those guys sign be able to send their children to school? No. With the piracy issue,
we enjoy Davido's music back here in Cameroon. We enjoy the sound of Fally Ipupa and a host of others. Are you saying that it is the Nigerian government that gave Davido and the Congolese government that gave Fally Ipupa the inspiration to be able to conquer people?
I was here to come there. I was just giving the blame of the government. I will give the blame of the population and the blame of the musicians themselves, because everybody has his or her own share of the blame. Our community, we have people here who are barons, but they don't promote our music. We have the famous man who died, GPS, Jean-Pierre Sarr. He used to promote some of our musicians. Apart from him, how many of our barons here have promoted our musicians or our show business in this country? It is very, very difficult. When you go to Nigeria, we have people who, when they see talent, they promote the talent, not only in the music, in the entertainment industry. They promote their talents. They promote their culture. But here, instead, we like foreign things than our own national things. In Cameroonians, we prefer what is coming from abroad than consuming Cameroon. When you look at Nigerians, if you put two CDs here, one for the United States of America and one Nigerian musician CD, I bet you all Nigerians will go for the Nigerian CD before looking at the American CD. That's how they consume their product. But here in Cameroon, it's not the case. And when you look at the Cameroonian musicians, some of them now, I would say, though it's harsh, that they are confused. This is what they call urban music. We are losing our values. Where is the Makosa? Where is the Meganga? Where is the other things that we used to enjoy in this country? Why is it that we can't promote our own culture? Now the musicians themselves.
But what do you blame there?
I am blaming Cameroonians that they should learn how to consume their own products. We have good culture and should be promoted. Now looking at the musicians themselves, they too, you know, most of them, they like life. They go to night. They prefer going to nightclubs. They buy expensive champagne, buy expensive shoes, sleep in expensive hotels, move abroad in France and live life high. Meanwhile, because the government has given opportunity for everyone to pay his insurance. You insure yourself for medical and life insurance. So that if you fall sick, they come to your rescue. But now you realize they don't insure themselves, and at the end of the day, when they fall sick, there's nothing. And then among them, they don't collaborate. They don't work together.
Yeah, you are touching almost everything that we have to discuss. On the Bakujut, do you see a clear policy for musicians in Cameroon by Cameroon government? Is it a policy?
First of all, I am into entertainment.
Okay.
Luckily, I knew Billy Bob a long time ago, though we never met, because I'm one of those who've been into the film industry since high school days. I've done a couple of films as well as like an actor.
I've watched you.
Thank you. So I don't know why you choose to talk just about the musicians today. Maybe we'll talk about film industry, but well, all of us, all are entertainers. I think they have a common issue, but. We are talking about policies that we've put in place as Cameroonians into the entertainment industry. Billy will come up truly with a good insight to that. But let me say that when you look at the Cameroon entertainment hub as a whole, we have a very serious problem. And the problem is not because Cameroonians are not talented. It is not because Cameroonians do not have the creativity, the content as well. It is or they don't have the money to push all this, or the companies. It is simply because we don't have the policies, like you rightly said, put in place. The right policies to ensure that proudly Cameroonian goods are consumed by Cameroonians. The right policies to ensure that standards are met in the Cameroonian entertainment market. I mean, all these policies, it is a laissez-faire market where stakeholders do according to the little they have. And so if we go to talk about artists themselves who at the end of the day live their careers as beggars, it is because these policies are not there to guarantee their livelihood when they were in show business. And at the end of the day realize that when they leave out of entertainment, they become frustrated. They have very limited resources. Okay, look at what other places are doing, other countries are doing. We have policies like we had in Ghana. At one point, they had to stop foreign content on national television. They promote local artists and ensure that they pay their royalties. That is a policy that a Ministry of Culture could do. But in Cameroon, when we say Ministry of Culture in Cameroon, you realize that the artists go begging, rather, at the Ministry of Culture. Sarah TV, sports, and entertainment that has just been created, realize that a good chunk of Cameroonian content now, as far as music is concerned, is being run. But the question is, at the end of the day, do these artists have their royalties paid and paid fully? It's always a problem with the Cameroonian situation. So it's a circle that has to do with the country putting good policies. The Ministry of Culture in Cameroon is more concerned with cultural things, real cultural things like artifacts, moving them from one place to another for political reasons. But I think that the life of musicians, they need to put policies that companies could relate with for their corporate social responsibility towards artistic work. They need to put policies that could protect our content and ensure that consumers of Cameroonian goods, of Cameroonian product, they help our artists to grow to higher heights.
What is the problem with Cameroon's music, Billy Bob?
It's a very it's a topic that if we want to expand it on, we'll start from
12 a.m. to
It's
midnight.
No, it's something that is very, very touching. Yeah, it's something that is very touching. Like Mr. Mbaku said, it doesn't mean that Cameroonians are not creative. Cameroonians are very talented and very creative.
Okay.
Be it from the worlds of music, film, designers, painting, and every other aspect of arts. Cameroonians are very creative. The problem, the genesis of this problem, it starts with policies. It starts with some policies that the government, and that's why I say if you want to talk about this, I would take, for example, during the 70s, the 60s to 70s, Cameroon music was on top of Africa. Cameroon music. Well, just because in those days they were talking about Cameroon music and Congolese music. Yeah, because when we go to Nigeria some years back, they had what they call a Makossa night. Makossa night was the night that people go and dance music from Cameroon and Congo. Because by then Nigerians were not singing the African urban music, hip-hop. They were not doing that. Yes, they were not doing it. And they had their own high life music with the fellas that they were, Fela and Ikule Kuti that they were enjoying. They had the Fela ransom. They had perhaps Sonny Okusons and the rest that they were enjoying. But, you know, time changes. Time changes. What is happening in Cameroon today is just time. You cannot sit on top of the world all the time. You can even in football, Brazil comes up and goes down. But it still remains Brazil. That is how it is. Even you see today, America, there will be a time that you see the American economy will be shrinking. After some time, it will come up again. It is because of time. Other people are working. They are coming to beat you. You understand? Now, looking at what the topic of the day, why are these people dying beggarly? It's because they don't have means. They don't have means. And before, they were living as if artists were living before. They made some money. Producers, those who were producing music yesterday, made a lot of money behind musicians. The producers. I'll give you an example. Before, music was being sold in cassettes. There were no CDs. There were no online streaming with cassettes. And they will sell a new cassette. That's an original cassette that used to have Sosinada on it. That was because Sosinada was a mother copyright corporation. Sosinada was for film, was for everybody before they split it in the 2000s. So at that time, you buy a new cassette for 2,000. And there were people who were making 100,000 sales on cassette. You understand? They were doing 100,000 sales on cassette. Because when Bebe Manga died, her producer, one Bamleka, I've forgotten the name, made that they sold 150,000 of the album Giakamba. Examples of 150,000. You understand? If you multiply 150,000, that's 1,000 or 1,000 by that 150,000, it gives you almost 100 million. You understand? And if they can sell 200,000 copies of that, you imagine the money that they were making behind these artists. And at that time, some of them, they will sign you, like GP, you talk about GPS. GPS in those days, how they were functioning, they will sign you, they will say, okay, Mr. Leo, you are singing good, okay, come, we'll give you 10 million for your album, because by then they were not doing singles, they were doing albums, LPs, that they will sing, you have about 6 tracks on a cassette. And then you sell and make money. GPS will give you 50 million, and you hands off, when you sing, you hands off the project. You your hands off, and at times, in the contract, they will tell you that, okay, every year concerts, if you're making a concert, 40% of the money still goes to GPS. But they were making money. But the producers were making more money. You understand? And you will not have that. It's for some few artists like the Petit Pays who were really on top of their game throughout their career. You understand? So it happens that as time was changing, cassettes left, CDs came. And CDs were very expensive before, you know. An original CD was 15,000 francs at that time. Too many people could not afford it. It started going down till about 2,000 francs for original copies, not the ones that they used to do it in Bafoussam. Because those things were being done in Bafoussam. That's when the Papillon and the others came up with the anti-piracy thing. Now, piracy is not even existing again because people don't produce CDs again. Now, the marketing strategy of music has changed. The dynamics of music has changed. We no longer produce cassette and CDs. We are now on social media. We are now on digital. We call them digital platforms. You put your music on cloud. You put them on Amazon. You put them on your YouTube, and that's how you make money today. Now, our older artists are not versed with the new trend. That is a problem. That is how we talk about change. These people should have changed from this era to this. Some of them did not. They are still holding back to yesterday. But the world has changed. How many of us have cassette players in our house? How many of us have even DVD players? Now, the new generation computers that are coming, 6th generation, 7th and 8th generation, they don't have CD, they don't have DVD ROMs. Even the one that Paul Biya gave to the students, you don't have. So now it has changed. We play music through our flash keys and stuff like that. So people make a lot of money through YouTube. That's why you see somebody who spend 3 or 5 million to do a good video. You understand? They will do a good video for that and then put it on YouTube because it's monetizing. Some people don't know. Some people just think that YouTube is for... No. There are people with YouTube channels that monetizes. Each 100,000 views gives you about 200,000 francs. People don't know that. That's why you see the people who do Mark Angel comedy. They are millionaires today. Those small Emmanuel and the rest. You understand? They are millionaires because if you go to their YouTube channel, you realize that each of their skits that they put has about 4 million views. Just imagine how many. If 200,000 each, in 100,000 views comes, so they make a lot of money. You see a Fally Ipupa will drop a song today on YouTube and it climbs to 3 million views in a week. Calculate the money that YouTube is going to pay because why? Now, there are companies that advertise on YouTube. When you are viewed, they put adverts on your channel. You understand? And it is monetizing, it's paying. That is the new dynamics of music today. And our old guys like Matt Zambo and the rest, it happened that things fell apart and that's why I will accuse the government, because in other countries like you said in Ghana, in Nigeria, the government enact policies that goes as to time. You understand? One, our copyright corporations, that is another topic for another day.
Okay, it's a topic for another day. It's a topic for another day.
It is really complicated.
It's complicated.
It's really complicated that we can't really explain this time to explain all of this. But what is happening in the music, Mr. Leo, what is happening in the music industry is the same that's happening with the film industry. All of this, the entertainment industry in Cameroon is in total disarray, total chaos because we don't enact. The Ministry of Culture has the smallest budget. The smallest budget in Cameroon, 3-point-something billion.
Good evening to you in the studio. I'm Stanley Adams from Boya. For my opinion in the music artist back home is that they lack a lot of spices that they need for their crafts. They mostly end up as beggars because they think only about the show, forgetting about the business side of it. The artists too lack what we call teamwork. I am a boss of my own. To suggestions, I can say if the government can step in by limiting foreign contents and take our home music as top priority so as to help our own artists. Okay. Awambeng writing from Bamenda says Cameroon musicians believe making money by selling their CD, which other countries' musicians believe in making their music being popular and making their money by concerts. Let Cameroon musicians learn how to make good music so that people should be in love. Okay, Awambeng, thank you. This one, you did not send a message. I'm Andy from Moliko Boya. Like Mr. Billy said earlier, the entertainment industry has not been given the right place that it deserves. Politics have affected everything in Cameroon, even the water and food that we consume. If the government had the opportunity, they would have politicized even their air that we take in. And above all, investors in Cameroon are ignorant about show business. Show business is one of the fastest growing sector in every other economy. Good evening, fellow panelists. Foremost policies, even if they are available, are only on papers due partly to corruption. We are poor, too. Consequently, we go for pirated copies instead of the originals. We also have guys who pirate the music because of poverty, too. Then we can't even afford to pay for concerts for which the musicians can benefit. Wow, many people think that something should be done. Muko Walters from Bamenda, I think the real problem is the government because they encourage the consumption of foreign goods rather than home goods. In fact, you see them importing rice when we have Ndop rice. So if the government puts a law to discourage foreign goods and encourage homemade goods in all sectors. Good evening to Mr. Mbaku Jute. I love your program, okay? Cameroon musicians should be held responsible for their downfall at the end of their singing because they don't want to treat themselves though they have money, which they collected from concerts, but because of their greed and stinginess to their own selves, they end up as beggars, okay? Talking on what the guy said, Cameroonians do promote their own, but let's face it, the reason why our fellow Cameroonians prefer foreign products is because ours is still of very low quality. And when we try to make quality Cameroonian goods, we inflate the price just because it's made in Cameroon. Good evening to you guys on board. I think the displacement of people from Northwest and Southwest is for their safety because both parties are harmful to the population, especially the underprivileged ones. So they don't care about the consequences in the future. Salvation is personal. God for we all. Jessica Luis writing from Douala. Good evening to you all in the studio. The devil in the... Okay. As the Bible says, the signs of the last days are occurring in Cameroon and is affecting Cameroon most. We should not bother too much because very soon God will put an end to all these happenings. Okay. Thank you. Keep the messages coming. Good evening to you in the studio. I'm Elias from Ekona. Most musicians end career beggarly due to poor planning, limited or no protection from their corporation industry rights, violated high rates of piracy, unpaid bills. Many people think that Cameroon music and other contents should be protected against foreign imported music.
Absolutely. I think not only the music, I think Cameroon products in general should be protected against other countries' products because when you look critically, you realize that things that are made in Cameroon cost more than the competitive products from abroad, given that the government does not give subventions to these locally made products so that the prices can also go down to compete with the products from abroad. If at all they are not giving convention, I think if policies could be put in place to discourage importation of such products, I think Cameroonians will be forced to come to Cameroon.
For the case of music, do we anticipate an era where the government will place...
I think so, because even in France it is done, as we could rightly fully mention here that in Ghana it is done. Even in France it is done. There are days in France that I think it should be Wednesday that they used to say that they play only French music. They promote only French music. That means if such could be done in Cameroon, I think, because in Cameroon here, many people will listen to foreign music because they are not given the opportunity to listen to local music. If a radio station passes all its time playing Ivorian music and Nigerian music, you realize that at the end of the day, Cameroonian musicians are not known by Cameroonians. Meanwhile, the more you listen to something, the more you get addicted to it, the more it enters into you, the more you enjoy it. So if you don't listen to it, you cannot enjoy it. And our musicians are so limited in finances, in resources, that they can't promote themselves into these radio houses. Because when you go to the radio house to promote their music, the radio house also needs money to function. So those are the type of the limitations that our show business is facing.
Good evening to you all. My best school is Government Primary School in Zian Town, Bati, guarantor from K-Town. Good evening to you all. My best school, okay, Bati. You're writing from Kumba, thank you. It's high time we listen keenly and place fair, accurate, and unbiased labels on Crusaders of Zero back to school come September 2nd. Okay. Can't read that. Mbaku Jute.
Yes, sir.
You've seen the situation of Ngia Larut, an artist who has done a lot to make Cameroonians enjoy themselves through music. You've seen the situation of Matt Zambo, Axel Muna died in a very, very pitiable state. We saw the way Lisa T died. How do we explain that in a country where we have over 500 to 1,000 musicians? Is it to say that they are completely in disarray, like Billy Bob says? Is there no collaboration? Is there no cooperation amongst them to see them die in such manner?
Yeah, the cooperation is not there. And it is largely thanks to the fact that we had, like the politics you see in football, politics too has invaded the music industry. I remember they struggled creating some associations here and there, and it wasn't working because I don't even know if one is still available. But I remember one time ago, there's this guy, this DJ Yango, who was heading one part, and then they came again and split the thing up too. So they keep making politics across every other sector in Cameroon life that makes it difficult for people to cooperate as one. There's hate, there's backbiting, there's infighting, and so all those things contribute to give a negative image to the entire music industry. But I think an artist like Mamangea and the Zambo guy whom I know, these are people who have attained a certain degree in the music business in Cameroon, who supposed to be the light to the younger generation, who have worked over the years and are supposed to have amassed plenty of money. Those are not any kind of artists. You know, when we are talking about the challenges, most of those challenges are for some of these young artists who are coming up. But we have top-notch artists at least who represent Cameroon to an extent. And Mamangea should be one, Petit Pays should be one. We have a couple of them. Mr. Leo Salatiel, who have struggled to, at least they're up there now. And within this dispensation, we should expect that these are people who should save. These are the time they are making their money now. The season will soon be off. They are supposed to have saved within the peak of their careers to ensure that when the sun sets, they should have something on the table. They should have an inspiration. There should be inspiration to the younger generation. And if they fail to do this, I think, well, we cannot also but just blame government policies too. Like I keep saying, we should always be conscious of apportioning blame to the things that we do. We should save our mass at the peak of our career so that when we don't have the ability, we can. But there's a problem again at this juncture, which I think that we should highlight before I give the microphone to Leo. Cameroon has companies, multinational companies, littered everywhere. These companies enjoy because of our artists. Most of them exploit these artists. You use artist songs on your ringtones and all that. You use posters of artists to sell your brand, your company, your drinks and all that.
I'm sure they're paid.
Well, I don't really think they're paid because
they paid a miserable sum.
Miserable sum, because if they really paid,
the government should set the standards.
In Nigeria, we've seen artists who have made it so big because of a common bank, with just one bank that takes you and then make you a brand ambassador, but you are enjoying. But in Cameroon, the companies are not assisting these artists. And I think that's where, because today most artists make money not through the CDs like Billy is saying. They make money through concerts. Just of recent, we had a Nigerian artist coming to Cameroon for a concert that is worth close to 52 million, and then the Cameroonian is reported not to have received 10 million. So you understand that company which brought the artists, the Nigerian artists into Cameroon, was doing the service to Cameroonians.
I just want to chip in something to what he's trying to say, what he's saying. You realize that these companies, these big companies, multinational companies, they use these artists. They put their songs on ringtones, maybe use them for advertisement. But when they want to organize shows, concerts, they go and bring artists from a different country to come and participate, and they pay them very high.
So we should check that.
I think the government.
Okay.
The government should say that no, you cannot pay such money to a foreign musician. Meanwhile, we have local musicians here who are doing well.
Okay.
The government should protect its citizens. That's what I have to say.
Consequences on fleeing communities: retard in development, increase in juvenile delinquency hosts, deprivation, drop in standards of living, increase in manpower, increase in crime wave. Okay, that was a reaction to the first topic. Kum, please, I love the point evening. Okay, good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Kum. The government does not want this crisis to end because it seems they are very happy with the present situation. People are being removed from their houses and killed without any problem. Only God will end this crisis. The government is acting with bad faith. Euba Felix Mpang, writing from Yaoundé. Modika Christopher Njemo from Kumba. My best school is Government Primary School, Itoki Bakundu, Konye Subdivision. Good evening to you all. I'm Sony from Boya. The mass exodus of people is because they don't want to take chances of any unknown. My best school remains BGS Moliko. Boya. Hi, this is Elvis from Bamenda. Lockdown will not solve this matter. We have been having lockdowns and what has happened. Okay. Greetings to you all there in the studio. My best school is GTHS Ombe. The government is not ready to solve the crisis in the 2 English-speaking regions every day. We keep seeing new machine guns. Please, all we need to talk is Princely Asong from Mutengen. I really love the program. Thanks. You people should keep up. Thank you too. Hello, I'm Richard from Yaoundé. Mr. Jude, if you are given leadership, why would you deliver like you do? We are at war, not in a church. Now is Francophone, Bulu, okay? Tied against resistance Anglos like... Well, this one says, greetings to you all in the studio. My best school is GBHS Etugebe in Yaoundé due to its security, comfortable environment, and trained teachers with well-equipped classroom. Pierrette writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you guys. Good evening to you too, televiewer. Good evening, Prime R. I'm ashamed with the leaders of Cameroon, but they should know that when God is for his people, no one will be against. The government of Cameroon is full. It's not okay. It's full of not good people. D for Eric, writing from Bamenda. Good evening. This situation to me is above human control. Only Allah can lead us out. Thus, let's continue praying and praying sincerely. Jibril, writing from Bamenda. Okay. Hello to you all in Prime. We really adore this program so well. People are running because there is fear of the unknown. But there is one thing which is certain. And any beginning has an end. So God is not sleeping. His time will be the best time. More grace to you all out there. I'm Doris, writing from Kumba. Stop calling, please. I cannot take a call. Just send. Good evening to you all in the studio. The government should try and solve this situation once and for all because Cameroonians are really suffering. So I pray that God should touch their hearts. I'm Clovis for writing from Mbankolo in Yaoundé. Good evening, guys. I love your program. My best school is GTHS Boya. All I have to say is that nothing lasts forever and every beginning has an end. I'm King Pangsi, writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu and co-panelists. Please let this Yaoundé regime stop deceiving themselves because how can they detain those who they are supposed to dialogue with them and trying to preach peace or back to school? It's Cedric Wendo writing from Ground Zero. My name is Agbo Lucien. My best school is GBHS Tico, and Mr. Gabriel Mofo is my best teacher. When it comes to organic chemistry, please, the government should give Mr. Gabriel Mofo a prize. Stop calling, please. Stop the calls. We can't take them. This lockdown issue is a bad idea because Anglophones shall all be Francophonized with Francophone culture. Okay, good evening in the studio. I really appreciate your efforts to discuss on the Anglophone war, though the government is very stubborn because their children are not affected. Okay, I've said we should stop calling. The government is playing the mocking jar hunger game with the 237 people. I don't think we have a Brutus in this country. Caesar still rules from the capital. MC Don, Senate Douala Bonaberry. Okay, MC, thank you. My name is Muma Daisy. The best school is the H. Bilingual Nursery and Primary School, Bonaberry, behind Chateau d'Eau. It has a well-equipped computer lab and practical arts and crafts classes. The environment is so clean and teachers are so warm. What is cool? Okay, Billy Bob Ndive, are you touched when you see Cameroonian artists, especially musicians, end their career the way they do now?
It's a matter of shed tears because we are all entertainers, and it's so bad seeing. When I watched another video of Mama Ngeya again today with Siri, CY International.
Don Pancho?
Yeah, Don Pancho, who went visiting her, and it was so touching looking at the vibrant Mama Ngeya. Desiree Kambi, you listen to that lady singing there, and the wonder we are seeing today on social media, it's day and night. Yeah, and it's, you know, musical entertainment does not have a, how call it? It doesn't have a retirement, and the only benefit retirement give you is the royalties that your works that you did yesterday might be paying when you are no longer active. In some places, in some countries, musicians die and their royalties are still paid to their
siblings,
their siblings, first generation. Yes, because it is there. You always listen to them. Because I even realized that there was a time when those who composed Samuel Mikyumbamba and Samuel Jamafane, who composed the national anthem, I think their children came up that they were supposed
during the reunification.
Yes, that they came up and said they were supposed to be giving royalties, which is very correct. It's music. That national anthem is music, and we have been listening to that anthem since the day they created it. Yes, we have been listening to it. So they are supposed to be paying these people millions upon millions every year because we keep singing. We sing them every day in our schools, radio, television. We sing. So we are not paying that money. And somebody said something here about companies. Their social corporate social responsibilities in Cameroon. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I will tell you. You travel. Some of us have traveled a lot out inside Cameroon, from Marwa till Boya and everywhere. If you find 5 billboards that you see Cameroonian celebs there, it's going to be something like wow. You will not find Cameroonian celebs on billboards. Let me tell you something. Showbiz at times, what you do might not give you money there, but the ripple effect of that thing that you do brings you money. I might use somebody in a movie. I pay that person 500K, act me this role. But thanks to the movie that sells a lot, companies like Brasseries, not advertising them, and these big companies, brewery companies, telephone companies, they see him and they call you. They say, "Oh, Mr. Kum, I saw you in this movie. Come, I want you to be on our billboard or brand ambassador for the next 2 years." And they put you on the table 50 million francs. I did not pay you 50 million, but the small that I did was to put you in front and showcase you, and you did well, and it's paying off. I will quote an example. It makes a lot of money when companies pay, but they don't pay. Let me tell you what happened when they were doing a Made of Black. You know, they used Stanley, you know. There was Fano, the Nigerian artist. How Cameroon killed Cameroon. Do you know that they used but Fino's picture? Stanley Eno, Cameroonian artist, was there with Guinness. And there was Fino that was put in that big building before they destroyed the Rond Point. There in the Douala here, it was Fino and Yaoundé Fino. It was these Nangambokos there that said no, they started tearing that thing there. That is when Guinness had to change and put Stanley Eno. These are facts. I don't know how you make a thing and pay. I don't know how much Stanley was paid, but I learned in Nigeria, Fino was giving millions of naira.
That's what was the case.
Yes, he was giving millions of naira. I know about this thing because one of my actors, Ipule Jeffrey, was called for that campaign, but I don't know what happened. You understand? That's where artists make money. But you will see, for example, there's a bank back to school going back. I see banks putting billboards everywhere, and I don't see anybody I know on the billboards. We have children, we have the Mayochus who go to school that they could contact the parents and make an advert with her and give the father even 5 to 10 million francs. They will not pay. We have companies here who do, how do you call it, oil, rubbing oil, lotions. They will not, you will not see them go and take maybe a Daphne or a Cindy there and pay her money. They will just say, my sister is there, she's yellow, she's light skin. They just carry her, do some makeups on her and put there. You are passing, you don't know anybody. Let me tell you, there's a company I saw recently, Makala, that is Daphne, that's there. What struck me there was that I saw about Daphne on the poster, and I say, hey, that's Daphne. And I stopped my car and was trying to read what was there. I realized it was flour for puff puff. That is how you make adverts. We go to Nigeria, we go to Cote d'Ivoire. We were seeing, I was watching their billboard. I saw Gowu, I was seeing even the DJ Arafat. You see these people on their billboard, but here you will not see. Because our companies, they don't care about it. And government is not tasking them to that. In some countries, their government tasking them to do that. Yes. Pay this money. It's corporate social, you have to pay. You understand? But here we don't pay. So how do we expect, Mr. Kum, how do we expect these people, these artists to have money? Look, let me tell you, to keep the life of a star is very expensive. Forget about this people are just running their mouth in quarters and saying, Gerard was supposed to have money. To keep the star or the life of a star, because if you see the same star on the road star with 2 rose slippers, you will want to start insulting. Right. You look, let me tell you, when they invite us for ceremonies, it takes us, like, you have to think on what you have to put on. Just to go for an outing, like a film premiere, a music concert, you have to dress well. So that they will know that this is a chief of Valerie that's coming. Just to dress yourself.
Have to carry money.
At times they go and film these boys with they film about 3. They say Mr. Kum Leonard was in 4 different parties with the same dress, and they start insulting you all over social media. So the life of a star is very expensive. You want to go, you don't have a car, you don't climb what we call a benzikin. You will not climb a benzikin. You will find money and even try to rent, even hire a cab. Or rent a car that can take you to that event. The life of a star is that. So we should be able to pay.
We are caught by time. I really want to satisfy most of our viewers. I want to read their messages today. Let me take time. I pray. Jerry, please, you guys should borrow me some time. Let me read what our televiewers think about what we are discussing. But I'm sure, Billy, there's a lot that we really need to talk about the Cameroon entertainment industries. A lot is not going well. Good evening in the studio. I think the Anglophone problem is much more of a political issue and will need to be solved politically. Likewise, the Ambazonian leaders too will have their way out politically. Elvis Pope is writing from Yaoundé. My best school is PNEU because they teach very well. From Mickey. Mickey, where are you writing from? Good evening to everyone. Stop calling, please. In the studio, I think the lack of good music cooperation is the sole cause of all the problems our artists are going through. They should create a good structure that will help them put an end to this. Amwa, writing from Mile 16. Good evening to you guys in the studio. Music has witnessed a significant increase in terms of fame and money as compared to the past in Cameroon. What I can say is that musicians in Cameroon should cultivate a habit of saving for their retirement, because in life nothing lasts forever. Life is not all about you having money through concerts and endorsement and going to Europe, America and Dubai for shopping and reckless spending. Batty Terence, writing from Boya. Hi, good evening. It's Clementine from Ebonji, Tombe. My best school is BGS Moliko Boya. Good evening, Prime. It's my best program. Our government should come together and put an end for the future of our kids and a better tomorrow. I'm Miriam Ibwa, writing from Tico. Good evening. Thank you for your program. This my best school is GTC Kakewan. Go see and well, good evening everyone watching Prime. Music is like football. The more you invest to become the best, the more fans you get to view and buy your song. We can't be forced to listen to something that isn't good for our liking. Music is like life. If it can't make us happy, why should we listen? Mr. Liu and Co. And some are examples of those who have invested and dedicated their time to make the best. That's what they sell very well. Ricardo is writing from Boya. Good evening to you guys. My best school is GS Ekok. It's Are Joseph from Limbe. There is nothing that does not end. Good evening. My best school is GHS Malinde Moyuka. It's Abine Gilbert writing from Yoke. Good evening, Leo. The issue killing our entertainment industry is lack of legislature. Let the government enact a legislature for our local media to project 80% on our entertainment industry. Your talented guys can do the rest to sell less consumer products. From Deep Agbo, writing from Boya. Lots of messages from Boya this evening. Good evening to you all. I'm Kisevi Blessing. My best school is GS Boo because teachers are not only serious but wise enough. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm sorry, but there is nothing like best school in this Cameroon because of the ongoing crisis. This is Mr. Jato Eric writing from Yaoundé. You see, I really sorry this country. Oh boy, that comic says, good evening, guys. I love the program. I heard one of the panelists say that artists need to save during their peak for rainy days. I wish to add that saving alone is not enough. Artists should save and invest. Oh boy, the comic watching from the town of excellence. Oh boy, we say congratulations once again from Prime R. Good evening in the studio. It's true, the entertainment industry is right up to football. Everything is now politics. As for our Cameroon musicians who are already in the field, not to forget the young ones who are struggling to grow. Leku from Yaoundé, my best school is CIHS Ndop. Okay. Good evening. I'm Orok Junior from Limbe. Arts in Cameroon don't make people see a need to put their money on them. This thing is called show business. Cameroonians don't know how to do it. Okay. Let Cameroon don't cause a musician style like Arafat. Hope you guys understand. Kumalu is writing from from Bamenda. Good evening to you guys all in the studio. I'm Adore from K-Town. I must say your program is quite inspiring. My best school is Kas Kumba. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Yasmin from Yaoundé. Most of our artists end as beggars because they mostly do freestyle because of lack of money to get to know producers in order to be wealthy, and unfortunately sing to no avail, which brings them back to the quarters. My best school is GTHS Santa Sylvester Jr. writing from Douala. We Cameroonians don't support our local music like Nigerians and other countries. That is why. If you look at Nigeria, they support their music, attend concerts, and have sponsors, not like Cameroonians. Good evening to you all in the studio. Vice Doctor from K-Town. Good evening to you all. The government of Cameroon has lost legitimacy over these two regions. Okay. Dobgima Roland writing from Bonaberi. Good evening. My best school is Alpha College Njombe Pinja by Roberto Lacosta from Pinja. Good evening. My best school is okay. Cameroonians should stop consuming outside music and consume their own home artist products. In Cameroon, they play 70% of Niger songs and just 30% of their own songs. Charity begins at home. Let's grow up. KB is sound engineer in Yaoundé. Good evening, sir. I'm Bekondo Allen from Kumba. My best school is National Bilingual College, Bonaberi, Douala. Good evening in the studio. I think us, the Cameroonians, are also to be blamed because we do not help to promote our artists. I have to end here. Unfortunately, I can't take all the messages. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Though I'm not feeling so well today, I'm happy because of the ongoing events in North and Southwest where people live and come down here. It's not really a good thing.
Okay. Thank you for coming, Baku.
Thank you very much. I hope that each time we come and sit here and talk, the people who are supposed to listen are listening and taking the right decisions, because we want this country to grow and grow at a very speedy rate. Let us be very sure that at the end of somewhere, we need to still live another life. And so we should be very pertinent the way we go about our issues.
Thank you for coming, Billy Bob.
The pleasure is mine.
We have to organize another edition.
We'll have another talk on this issue concerning arts in Cameroon. It's very pertinent issue. It's supposed to be a topic on its own.
Okay, let me end with this message from the plethora that are coming in. It says, hello, Leo and co. We really love the program. I really want to personally thank the last speaker for being the people's voice. Cameroonian artists need a lot of updates. Doris, writing from Kumba. Desmond, the two Desmonds, I say thank you for pushing through the program, and to you, Eli, who is producing the program, and to you, Jerry, who is up at the broadcasting. Thank you to Tabit Tambe, Brian, who is supervising what we are doing out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.